What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Box Office Dynasty podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Jack.
And I'm Josh.
How are you doing today, Josh?
I don't know. It feels like it's been a while since we've been here, only because it's been one extra day that we had to wait to record.
Yeah, it does. We usually record on Monday. Today's Tuesday. I mean, shit happens, I guess.
No, and you know what? So we're getting to the end of summer here, and I feel like you and I have both been pretty busy, and that makes sense. It's summer. August, in terms of movies, it's a very quiet time. This is probably the worst month of year for a lot of things, movies, sports. Like, if you think about it, this is the Sunday of summer.
Yeah, it is, because especially when you think about like school and stuff, that's Monday.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like August gives such Sunday vibes, and then if you look at summer in like a 3-month interval,
Yeah,
June
July,
is like the
August.
Friday, July is the Saturday, and August is just the lazy Sunday of summer, and everyone's kind of just resting and preparing, doing things. They go on vacation, or they're just hanging around. But there's not a lot of movies coming out. When we talk about the box office numbers in a little bit, you're going to see, it's just not a lot this month. Hell, when we think about what we got ahead today in the episode, we're doing a part 2 of a review of a movie. That's how little there really is in terms of news stuff right now. But that's okay, so we're just kind of doing our own things lately. And I'm feeling good. I'm just trying to enjoy these last few days of summer.
Yeah, I mean, today we're gonna go over our box. No, not our box. Our film study. Today we're examining each other's boxes.
Well, all right. Bend over and spread them, Jack.
Spread them, dude. That's funny, actually. We're gonna No, today we're going over the film Bible. No, dude, I'm fucking losing it today. Today,
dude,
shut up.
What?
Today,
do you need a little help here? I
need
can
a
do this.
lobotomy, bro.
What the fuck?
Today we're going over the Bible study movie. There we go. Holy shit. We're reviewing the Bible study movie, which is Fat City. We have our film Bible. You guys picked a movie. It was Fat City. Came out in like the 60s or 70s or something.
1972.
Locked it in. All right, we're gonna review that. Then we're gonna do the box office numbers. You're taking over for that as usual. Big numbers guy.
You know what? Nerd. It would be fun for you to do it for a week and just see how it goes. You just have to look it up and read them to us. And
it would be terrible.
I don't know. I think we should try it sometime.
Because clearly my brain doesn't work, and I'm like, I fuck up all the numbers.
Yeah, I know, but that's what would make it so fun.
All right.
We'll have to see.
Yeah, we should do a reverse episode where we're just each other.
Okay.
I'll wear a bald cap.
Opposite.
I'll wear a bald cap.
Do I have to get a wig?
Yeah, and I'm like, hey guys, it's Josh.
But that means you have to. That means you have to get a fake beard as well.
I would have to. I just glue someone's real beard to my face.
Yeah, that's not what you
need to shave. And then,
that's not what you were gonna say.
No, it wasn't. So after that, you saw Honey Don't, which the new Margaret Qualley, Aubrey Plaza movie. So you'll review that. I finally saw Weapons, which is something you talked about last week. And we're going to talk about this week because I have a lot to say about that. And we're going to argue 100% because you really liked it. And we'll get into how I feel about that later.
Which then we're going to know what that means.
Some trailers, some news. And it's going to be a good episode. We have some good discussions today.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Did you see the big news today? You had to have before
today.
We came on here.
Oh, yeah. I mean, big news for the unemployed.
Well, yeah, I know. Well, yeah, that's what I was gonna get there, but yeah. So Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce announced their engagement, and I was like, I bet everybody is gonna be really normal about this.
You would think, right?
Yeah, totally normal.
I saw so many girls on their Instagram stories just reposting it, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's happening!" It's
me too.
Hey, by the way, you're not invited to the wedding. They're not going to see this and invite you.
But I think they're just thinking about all the music that they're going to get from Taylor Swift about it now.
I think she's better. It's kind of fucked up, but after she's heartbroken.
I don't know. I mean, maybe I actually don't know. That's literally it because I haven't really listened to a lot of her music. The newer stuff.
I like Taylor Swift.
I mean, I do like Taylor Swift. I think people that hate her are just hating to hate. You know what I mean? Like, it's
Yeah,
stupid.
because it's something's popular and they're like, oh, everyone likes it. I don't.
Yeah, like it's cool to not like it when in reality, like she is a very good pop star with a very interesting voice, I think, most of the time. And there is like, the whole Eras Tour thing, there is that distinction in her albums. I mean, she's far from the only artist to have that kind of distinction within their albums,
I'm
from
a
one to the
folklore
other.
guy. That's the way to
Yeah.
go. Do you know the differences or no? You just
I mean, I know that that's one of the albums, but I
yeah.
don't know what you mean differences, like in
Like if
terms
I
of what they mean.
like, do you know each of the albums and like how they're different or no?
I don't know if I could say I know how they're different, but I know her albums, I guess. Yeah.
I'm just wondering what your Taylor Swift knowledge is.
Not that deep, apparently.
I don't know most. I only know like 2 or 3 albums and like what kind of songs are on there.
I mean, I like generally know her albums, maybe not all of them by name, but like if I know, like, I don't know, if I could picture them and like if you told me the name, I'd be like, yes, I know that that was kind of around this time period, I guess.
Yeah. Do you have a
But
favorite Taylor Swift song?
oh, it's always been Love Story at the very beginning, dude.
Yeah,
That
dude.
song is such a bob. I
That
don't
one
care
is
what
so
anyone
good.
says.
And
I don't
that's like
know.
from her first album ever, I think.
Yeah, I know. That was back when she was more like really just country. I mean, obviously now she's very much like a pop star, but
Yeah. She
um
peaked in like
yeah.
2011.
Yeah. And you know what? So I mean, congrats to them. Like obviously I like Travis Kelce. I mean, obviously he's had a lot of success with the Chiefs in his career. I'm a Browns fan. He's from Cleveland Heights, and he said that he had always wanted to play for the Browns. And I saw that, and I was like, "Damn, what could have been?" But also, like, probably for the best because he probably would have had a shit career if he played in Cleveland and. In Kansas City, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. So, now he's
Well,
got Taylor
yeah.
Swift. That might have not happened if he went to the Browns. So,
And maybe they'll see this and we will be invited to the wedding.
yeah, maybe we will, and then everyone, all the Swifties and the Travis Kelce fans will be obsessed with us, the
They
box
already
office
are.
dynasty. Well, they should be.
They should be.
Yeah. So anyway, I just saw that, and it's news, it's relevant. So
Yeah,
I was curious if you saw that, which of course
I
you
d-
did.
of
'Cause
course, it's everywhere.
fucking everybody did. The other thing that I wanted to bring up to you here at the beginning, real quick, before we get into the Bible study, is I saw this literally just before that Amazon is making a modernized Wizard of Oz series for Prime Video, with Gwen Stefani and Blake Shelton behind as the creators, and it's supposed to be a youth-focused like metaphor of the yellow brick road, and that's being used to show the challenges and choices with adults today or young adults today and like teens growing up. That's how it's being described. That's what Deadline is putting out.
W-
Yeah,
what's the story? Is it like
TBD. I don't know. It just says what like it's going to be, which is using the yellow brick road as a metaphor.
remember how they made James Franco like an origin story of the Wizard of Oz?
Yeah, I've never seen it, but
Me neither.
I know
Oz the
about
Great
it.
and Powerful.
Yep.
And it's like I like Wicked and I like the Wizard of Oz, but I think this is too much, right?
I
Like
agree.
you
I
don't
think
need
this is too
4
much.
movies, 1 play, uh a TV series. Like you don't need all this. An origin
You're not
story.
even counting The Wiz. You know what I mean? And
What is that?
everything.
I don't even know what that
That's
is.
another musical turned into a movie or vice versa, whatever it is around. That's like another modernized 90s take on the whole universe. Like there's a whole other fucking. There is a lot to the Wizard of Oz lore when we all consider that even the original Wizard of Oz movie is not the original. It's based off of a book.
Right. Yeah, there's literally after
So,
there's 4 movies when Wicked comes out. There's 2 plays or 2 musicals, a book, and now a TV series. Like
yeah.
that's actually crazy.
Yeah, multiple plays. Yeah, like it is too much. I mean, I don't know. Obviously this is a cherished universe, and one of the most. And The Wizard of Oz is an iconic film, and Wicked is a great musical, and the first movie is great. Very excited for the second one coming out in November.
Uh,
All of that. but I don't know, eventually, like, let sleeping dogs lie, you know? Like, just do something else for a change. Do something new. Like, this is just that continuation of the proof that there is such a lack of, you know what, balls in Hollywood, because
Big fat
they're
balls.
too afraid to take, big jumps of faith on new original content. When we've seen, and we'll highlight in this episode today, success in the past with original content.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the series was just a reboot.
I mean, I don't even know how to describe, I guess. Like, it's just, it is what I like. I guess you can, I mean, it is a rebooted version of this whole
But
franchise.
like,
Like,
I
it's
mean, if they
just
have like
weird to
Dorothy
me.
and the lion, like I feel like they
Oh,
could just.
yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean,
Because honestly, that's a movie that I see the argument for actually being due for a reboot, considering it came out like 100 years ago or whatever,
no,
80
that's, but
years
see, that's
ago.
what I'm saying. Leave it alone. I don't see what the point is.
Well,
It's
yeah,
just that you
if we
have
weren't
the,
getting this much content now, I would say it's fine.
that's
But since we
different.
have so much
Yes.
content now already, it's like there's no point.
I agree with that. If we weren't getting the Wicked movies and everything, I would say
Exactly.
I would agree. Like, leave it, or make it, but like, I just leave it,
Right.
because we don't need that. We've had enough in this universe, I think,
New
is the point.
audiences are already like becoming obsessed with the Wizard of Oz through these new Wicked movies.
Oh, very.
Yeah,
It's been exposed to new generations. I just
exactly.
don't
You
think
don't need it
it's
anymore.
necessary. And this is that trend, and Amazon themselves has made original films and original series that have been very successful. So I don't know why they feel the need to constantly try and reboot franchises. Like, it makes me worried about James Bond, that's for sure. I really just don't want them to fuck around and do something that, don't break what or don't fix what isn't broke, leave it
Right,
at that.
exactly.
So I don't know. I saw that news and I thought it was very weird, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani. I
Yeah,
don't think they're gonna
that we
make
haven't even
anything.
talked about that. What? Like, I
They're
don't
not gonna make
even, what are
anything
they part of that?
groundbreaking. Yeah, like what are they doing there?
Why? Why do they want to make this? I
I
don't
mean,
know.
it'll be a
Very.
musical maybe, but like that's it.
Well, yeah, everything Wizard of Oz is essentially a musical, so of course it's going to be a musical, I
So
would
I guess
assume.
they're
And
just
they are
involved in the
singers.
music.
Were judges on The Voice at one point. I don't know. Whatever. The whole thing's weird. Will I watch it? Maybe. I'll see the trailer and see if you can convince me, but right now I'm certainly not convinced.
No. Let's get into our Bible study.
Let's do that.
So for Bible study this week, we asked all of you guys to make comments on all our videos, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, and anything. And you guys comment a random number, like 25 through 1,265. And that number coincides to a movie in a book we have called the Film Bible. And it's called the New York Times 1,000 Essential Movies to Watch. We pick a number at random through your guys' comments, and we encourage you to keep commenting because we do this every couple weeks, and we watch that movie and review it. So this week's was 1972's Fat City. So I guess we're just gonna roll through our reviews real quick or our ratings.
Yeah, so, just to give a description of the film, before we hop in, it's 1972 Fat City, like Jack said, directed by John Huston, starring Stacy Keach and Jeff Bridges and Susan Terrell. Basically, it's just about these two men, like this guy who is supposed to be, we'll get into it, an older guy, an older boxer who takes a young boxer under his wing to kind of mentor him. And we see the paths that they go on in the world of boxing. So that's basically what the film is about. And yeah, so let's give our ratings, and then we'll just get into it. I mean, I'm gonna say it's spoilers for Fat City ahead. There's not really much of a non-spoiler section. It came out over 50 years ago, so
Right.
spoilers ahead for Fat City if you don't want to spoil.
I'll go first.
Sure.
I give Fat City 6.5 receding hairlines out of 10.
Oh man, I shouldn't laugh at that. I give it 7. I don't even know. 7, like, I guess just whatever out of 10. Fuck it. I didn't think
You
of
just
anything
did
for
not
this
think of
one.
it.
I thought of it for Honey Don't, and I didn't think of it for this one.
That's
But
all
I give
right.
it a 7 out of 10.
I just want to say, Stacey. How old was Stacy Keach when he filmed this?
So Stacy, I looked this up after this. So what Jack and I have been alluding to is so Stacy Keach is supposed to be the older one. His name is Billy, and
He
the other
says he's
boxer,
29 years old.
yeah, and he looks like 45 years
I
old in
know.
this
He's
movie.
got a receding hairline. He keeps talking about how he was great in his past. So I was like, oh, this guy's older, obviously. No, he's
And he's not
29.
that much older than Jeff Bridges. So Stacy Keach was born in 1941. He is 84 years old.
This
Jeff
movie came out in
Bridges
72.
Jeff Bridges was born in 1949 and is 75 years old right now.
So Stacy Keach, if it came out in 72 and he was born in 1941, he's 31 years old.
Yeah, and Jeff Bridges was like 20,
23.
23, yeah. 20, yeah.
Uh, yeah, I mean, that was crazy. So how did you actually feel about the movie itself?
Um, so it wasn't what I was expecting it to be. And the way I
No, me
looked at
neither.
it is that I totally understand what the movie is. I watched it start to finish. I said, I get it. It was a little boring. I wasn't totally invested, but I was able to push through, and I understand. And what it is it's a character study more so than like an actual boxing film.
Uh-huh.
I mean, then there are boxing scenes, and I did enjoy those.
Yeah, there's like
Um,
2 or 3.
Man, there were like 3, maybe even 4, because there was 1, 2 at the beginning, and then like a couple at the end. So,
Uh,
um, there were the boxing scenes were fun. But you know, it's a character study because it's very focused, like I was saying, on Billy and Ernie, and kind of it's supposed to be their relationship and the different trajectories their lives are going in as they try to maintain careers in boxing. Obviously, Billy being older, his is not going well. He's trying to make a comeback. It's not really happening. He keeps making up excuses for why he hasn't started working out in the gym again. Ernie, on the other hand, you know, he is having success. He is a very well sought after boxer, you know, to be put out in the ring. But, you know, he has some issues at home, I guess, with his marriage and family. And so I'm seeing this, and I think they translate that well. And the whole point of it, I just didn't find it the most entertaining. And you know what? I'll say this last part, like, not all character studies are the most action-packed entertaining films, and that's understandable, but there just wasn't enough juice in general.
yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I wanted more interactions between the two main characters. I feel like they talked like 2 or 3 times, and that was
Yep.
it. And the side characters, at least the woman, was so annoying. Like, I actually genuinely hated her. Like the alcoholic lady, you know what I'm talking about? I forgot her
Yeah,
name.
well, no, the name of her character is Oma. It was played by Susan Terrell. I
Yeah,
actually thought she was really good.
I hated
Her
her.
performance, to say the
Well,
least.
yeah, I mean, she
Whether or
was
not you
supposed to be
didn't,
annoying
you know, yeah, that's true. Because I
because
was gonna
even the
say
characters.
she was nominated. She was the only one in this movie actually nominated for an Oscar, which I thought I was surprised because I thought she was the best performance in the movie. And you're right, she is an annoying character, and it does mean that she is giving a great performance, which is part of what makes me give this as high of a rating as I do, is
Right.
because she is the surprising standout of the film. Whether or not I liked the character, I kind of agree with you in this case, but
Yeah, the performances were good, and also, you know, what was a little messy for me was the time frame. Like they,
yeah.
I think they tried to show the time frame through Ernie's relationships because like you'd see him talk to Billy, and then like the next time they talk, he's like, "Oh, now I'm married," and I'm like, "Okay," but that could have been a year later, that could have been 2 years later, that could have been a month later, I don't know. And then he's like, next time they talk, he's like, "Oh yeah, I got a kid at home," and I'm like, "What the fuck? Like, is your kid 5? Is he 2? Is he just born?" Like, they try to push the time frame changing through that, but you can get married at any point in your life. You can, have a kid at any age. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know how long had been passing, so I was like, what is this relationship, and like how bad is Billy, like how bad is the spot Billy's in, because it's like it could be years later when he's still like fucking poor and alcoholic, you know what I mean?
And no, I agree, and I think that a lot of this kind of circles around the whole thing that this film is just too short. Because for a character study, I think you really need to devote a lot of time. Like, you're right. And that was another one of my points that I had. There's not enough between our two central characters, Billy and Ernie. And it's supposed to
Uh-huh.
be about that relationship. And yet we don't see enough interaction between them over the course of these years. I mean, they're supposed to, insinuate this sense of jealousy in Billy of Ernie or something like that. But I
Right.
mean, it doesn't
You get that for
really.
like once at the end.
Yeah, it just isn't. We don't get enough of it, over the course of the film. And the whole thing is only 97 minutes, and I just think that for what they're trying to do, like I said, I get it, but we don't get enough time with these characters where we learn enough of it, ups and downs, and really see those arcs play out. And so it
Right.
kind of feels you leaving a little empty.
I went into this movie thinking that it was about Billy taking Ernie under his wing and training him, but at the same time, like getting jealous of all his success because
Me too.
Billy is like a washed up boxer, and this guy, even though he's working together with him, and he's trying to make him better, he's getting all the success and the fame, and he has a wife and kid. And I was really interested in that. And then I watched it, and they only interact like 3 or 4 times for like a minute or two at a time. And I'm like, this is not anything that I thought it was going to be, because they're both really good characters in my opinion, but they're better when they're together.
And honestly, the craziest thing too is there are periods of time where you see one of them and you won't see the other one for a while. And for a
Yeah,
short
like 20 minutes
movie,
go by.
yeah, where you won't even see anything about the other character. And for a movie this short, it's not even a 2 hour movie, it's just barely over an hour and a half.
Uh-huh.
Like, I feel like, you can't afford to have, like you said, 15 to 20 minutes almost, it feels like, go by where one of your main characters just isn't in the movie. It
Yeah.
just it makes it feel very choppy, and it's part of why, like, we feel this way, where by the end it's like this feels like it was missing stuff. This feels like, it didn't have enough, and ultimately felt kind of boring for that.
Uh-huh.
And I can excuse the lack of action if, we had a bit more of these scenes, these interactions, where we can see more of these characters and these performances, but ultimately we don't get that either. And so it kind of keeps the movie from elevating to a higher tier for either of us, it seems.
Yeah, people really love this movie. I mean, didn't you say like Muhammad Ali loves this movie?
Yeah, I read that afterwards. It's apparently Muhammad Ali resonated deeply and found a lot of himself in this film. And I looked at that guy's the GOAT, you know what I mean? So I said that
Uh-huh.
does count for something, I guess. And think about where we even got this film from, 1,000 essential films to see. So clearly a lot of people
Right.
find that this is an influential film. And for that, I almost do understand based on what we're talking about, what the film is. I get it. Um, maybe if you and I were born in a different generation, this movie we'd think of it differently, because
We'd
perspective
expect less.
perspective yeah, I mean, like, less is, it's almost like even a harsh way to look at it, because you're not wrong, it's just it feels dirty to use that word. Like, it's just a different perspective based on age and the world you're in, I guess.
Mhm.
It doesn't feel less at the time,
Right,
and
exactly.
and so um I have a respect for this film. I have a respect for every movie that we get out of this book. Uh, and I gave it a 7 out of 10. I liked it. If it was really long and still didn't get the point across, then that'd be different. At least it was
Mhm.
shorter and got the point across. I just wish there was more to make it better. But yeah, didn't totally do it for us. Probably wouldn't watch it again. But it wasn't terrible. I thought it was decent.
Yeah, I don't regret watching it.
Yeah, it's hard to regret watching a movie, in my opinion. It has to be
Well,
pretty
unless
bad.
it takes like 2 hours of my life and it fucking sucks, like a 3 out of 10 2 hour long movie, I'd regret that.
Yeah, me too. But like this, I thought it was good. I thought it wasn't a bad watch. I can understand why people would love this, and I don't not recommend it. If you're curious for yourself, I do think I thought it was good enough that I would recommend it, but it was a little dull and not necessarily my cup of tea or yours, like I said, it seems.
Yeah. So that's our review of Fat City. I do want to ask you before we move on, while we're talking about where we got this film from,
That's
Thousand
fine because
Essential Movies to
I want
Watch.
to check it off in there actually.
There you go. But
Then we
what I
watched it.
wanted to ask you
Go for it.
was what movies either and that you've already seen or that are announced that you have really high expectations for from the 2020s do you think deserves to be in that thousand essential movies to watch? Is there any, or
I
are they all
don't.
not worthy?
Um,
Because I got a couple on my dome, but I just want you to see what
no,
you
I
think.
wouldn't say that. I mean, we're already almost like halfway through the decade, which is crazy to fucking think about.
Yeah,
I mean,
don't even.
absolutely
Don't even.
terrifying. We're halfway through the 2020s. So to say that there aren't any films worthy, I think is asinine. Of course there are. The first one that comes to mind actually is Everything Everywhere All at Once.
That was my number one.
Just because it's such an innovative, unique, I think decade defining film in terms of
Uh,
the tastes of the time. No multiverse story is ever going to top it. Like that, I
no.
think kind of did it for people with multiverse in a sense. I think
Yeah.
there's even ripples of it in the kind of content that we get now with Marvel and stuff because of the fact that Everything Everywhere All at Once did it so well. So that's the first one that comes to mind. Of course, Sinners as well. I mean, I think Sinners truly is the film of the year. I mean, to this point, I don't know how it can be topped. We'll see. Plenty of time and plenty of great stuff to come, but
Uh,
I can see that one being up there in the argument as well. Even Oppenheimer, I think Oppenheimer is really career defining work for Christopher Nolan in a lot of ways. I think that was such a big deal for a movie of that kind of stature to have the impact that it did. And so I can see that one being in there as well. I mean, maybe Barbie for cultural impact, but
you're naming
uh,
every single one on
I
my
don't
on
know.
my.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, go ahead. Do you have any others?
No, no. I asked you because I just want to know what you thought and see if
Well,
we
do you
agreed.
have
No,
any others besides those?
I literally had the top three you just said in that order, and then I said maybe Barbie because it reaches such a different audience and it is such a cultural impact and cultural phenomenon. Um, I'm trying to think. I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think of like the best movie of every year. Like, if I don't, this is hard because I kind of want to say one of the Spider-Verse movies because for animation, that is like next level. And the
I mean,
story is so
maybe the
amazing.
first one. I don't know about the second one. Maybe the first one.
Yeah, people like the second one even better than the first one, I think. I like the first one better.
I don't know. I mean, it's tough. I think they're very close. I can actually tell you now. I have a ranking on Letterbox
Uh-huh.
of all the 2020 Best Picture nominees,
Oh,
except for
yeah?
the
Okay.
only one that I haven't seen. And I'll preface with this: I don't think for a second that the Oscars is the be all end all determination of what's the best of
No, of course not.
the decade, because some of the films at the bottom of this list are ranked pretty low. Amelia Perez. But um I will say one of the films that I had here or that I think deserve to be in that conversation is The Father. I don't know if you ever saw it. Came out a couple of
No.
years ago. It was in the 2020 slate of
Is that
films
with Anthony
for the
Hopkins?
Oscars. Yeah, oh my god. It's basically about a man who suffers from Alzheimer's, and it's from his perspective, and it's probably one of the most brutally accurate and awful interpretations, like
Uh-huh.
awful in a good way, of course, in terms of just how it makes you feel, but Not like awful that it sucked, but just
Right.
it was a brutal movie, and truly, I think his performance, like he won that year. That was the year Chadwick Boseman. Actually, it's really funny. So, I mean, funny and also fucked up, but it's funny, but it's fucked up.
Okay.
So that was the year that Chadwick Boseman, obviously, he passed away, and he had been in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, and everyone thought that he was going to win Best Actor at the Oscars. So
Heath
much
Ledger type
so,
situation.
yeah, so much so that for whatever reason, the producers, whoever decides the order of the show, put Best Actor after Best Picture because they were so confident that Chadwick Boseman was going to win that they wanted that to be the way the night ended, celebrating Chadwick Boseman. So then they do, and mind you, this is also like in 2021, COVID's still a big deal. So it's not in the
Yeah.
regular theater. It's like they were doing it in like the train station that year at like Union Station,
Bro,
whatever,
that
in
is so
LA.
awkward.
So the whole thing was like really weird to begin with. And then um they do Best Picture, and then they do Best Actor, and it's Joaquin Phoenix because he had won the year before for
Uh-huh.
Joker, and he's obviously kind of an awkward guy. Comes out and he reads the nominees and he goes, the winner is Anthony Hopkins, and Anthony Hopkins wasn't there that night because he was in England and he couldn't fly because of COVID. I don't think he had it, I think just because of COVID,
Uh-huh.
and so he wasn't there to accept it. So this whole big climactic thing where they were going to celebrate Chadwick Boseman, it was just Joaquin Phoenix at the end of the night going, "We accept, the Academy accepts this on behalf of Anthony Hopkins. That's the show. Good night." Boom.
That
End of
is
show.
so awkward, bro.
And that was the end of the show, and everyone was just like, what the fuck? And it was the most awkward thing. And the reason I bring that up is because, truthfully, Anthony Hopkins probably did deserve that Oscar. His performance in The Father is one of the most incredible performances I have ever seen. It's one of my favorites of all time. He is so good in that movie, and it really it brought me to tears seeing him, and I really am excited to watch that movie again down the road, as harrowing as it is, and is one way to put it. And yet obviously it's just fucked up because like the Academy, one of the many things that you've seen them goof up in the past, like thought, hey, let's do this for Chadwick Boseman. Oh no, Anthony Hopkins, and he's not here. Good night. Like,
Yeah, that's a fuck up. I mean, the Academy is like, they fuck up something every year, I feel like.
yeah, I mean,
Um,
after the La La Land Moonlight situation, when
yeah,
Warren Beatty announced the wrong film because he had the Emma Stone card, like they fired the entire accounting firm and everyone that
it's
works behind that
crazy.
and replaced them. Um,
Before we move on, I do just want to also shout out another movie that I think could be worthy of the list. Another brutal movie from last year that's not the brutalist. Um,
that's
I'm
actually
Still
pretty
Here.
funny.
I
Oh,
think
that's a
I'm
good
Still Here would
one.
be worthy of it.
That's a
Great
very good
international
choice.
film, and if you haven't seen it, if you haven't seen The Father, go watch that. If you haven't seen I'm Still Here, go fucking watch that. Uh, and let's move on.
Oh damn! All right,
Well,
you
what?
just
You got
shouted it
some? You got
out.
more to say?
I was just gonna say like no, I was gonna talk about I'm Still Here for a second, give it its
Oh, do you want to?
flowers. But
No, it's a
yeah,
great
man.
movie. I don't really.
Since you brought it up, you know it's worthy. Like that is such a beautiful film. That's another really sad one. Obviously, like about takes place in Brazil during I think like the 70s. Yeah, 1971. I'm looking at it here during that
Uh-huh.
military dictatorship at the time, and obviously like her husband
Just
gets
dragged
taken
away.
for questioning and like disappears and she never sees him again, and it's like brutal is a really good way of putting it, and the performance that Fernando Torres gave in that was another one that like really had me on the edge of my
It's
seat.
so moving.
um you know, and I think it's one of those films that's like I think it's really cool that this film did well and got popular because obviously a lot of people here in the United States are very Hollywood oriented. Hell, even you and I mean, fair enough, I am Hollywood oriented to a degree just by the fact that this is where I'm from, and Hollywood is kind of the kingpin of the film industry, sure, but there is still so much tremendous work that comes from all around the world with international cinema, and this I'm Still Here was proof of that. And it was actually one of my favorites in that Best Picture race from last year. And you're right, I could see that as a film that absolutely belongs in the essential 1,000 films to see in the film
Yeah,
Bible. Like, I
I
don't
think it was
know.
my favorite
Mine was still
of
Dune
last
Part
year.
2, but like that's totally respectable. Like I honestly cannot argue I'm Still Here being your favorite.
It was my fourth favorite movie of the year.
Really?
Yeah.
I think I watched it after the year ended, so I didn't put it on my ranking, but it would
Mm,
probably be very high.
gotcha.
So yeah, no, that was a good poll. I agree. I think that one really deserves to be in there.
Goated.
So, all right. Well, that I just wanted to give it its flowers since you brought it up because it's
Fair.
such a
That's valid.
fucking awesome movie. But
So
all right, so
crazy.
that is the Bible study. Next week or next episode, I should say, uh we will be picking the next Bible study film that we will watch. So please comment numbers on the social medias, on the episode, wherever you can. If you can like use telekinesis telepathically get the numbers to us, do that too. That's cool. But whatever you got to
Yeah.
do to get us the numbers, and we just might watch your film.
If we randomly think of a number, that's because a viewer put it in our heads telepathically.
Yeah, exactly. So that kind of we at that point I almost feel like it's fate, like we have to watch it.
Yeah,
So all right,
exactly.
you know what else is fate every week? The box office numbers. We got to do them.
Yes, sir.
That we're the box office dynasty. So these are your box office numbers for the weekend of August 22nd through the 24th. So we're
Mm-hmm.
getting through to the end of summer here.
Uh,
We've talked about it. We highlighted it. Yeah, I know. Fall's in
uh,
the air.
stop.
And these are the movies that are dictating the box office right now. In fifth place in its fourth weekend of release, and you're going to notice a trend with a lot of these, making another just over $5 million. The Bad Guys 2, the sequel out of DreamWorks. In fourth place, in its fifth weekend of release, making $6 million more, is The Fantastic Four Final Steps. We're going to get back
First
to that.
steps.
Yeah, for steps.
Yeah, he's just said final steps.
Oh, fuck. Oops. Yeah, you and I are both on something this week. I
I
swear to
know, bro.
God.
It's all right. We're keeping each other in check.
You know what? I like it. Fantastic Four First Steps, although might be some final steps. We're going to get back to that in a minute. In third place in its third weekend of release, making $8.8 million more is Freakier Friday. That for sure is the name of that film.
Yeah, for sure.
Freakier Friday, the sequel to Freaky Friday. In second place, in its third weekend of release, $15.4 million in the bank. The apparently a film that we are going to be contending over is Weapons. And in first place in its first weekend of release, and Jack, this is some news, the first ever Netflix film to be in number one at the box office. $18 million. This has been the hit. I haven't seen it. You haven't seen it, but everyone's talking about it. K-pop Demon Hunters.
Everyone loves that movie. I've been told
Yeah.
so many times to watch that movie.
It's not really something that I think either of us would watch. Like, it doesn't seem like it's our cup of tea, but I'm
No.
always open to seeing anything. And this is something that everyone has been really raving over lately. So much so that Netflix, as you can tell, put it in theaters. And it finished number one. Now, it would not have finished number one in a certain other weeks, but it's smart, taking advantage of the late August window here. Not a lot of traction. It's the only new release. The next highest new release this weekend in the box office is Honey Don't, and it finished in 8th place domestically with just over $3 million. So obviously a very dry, slow weekend. So Netflix taking advantage, pocketing $18 million.
It's smart.
All I'm saying is the way I'm seeing, keep doing it. Do it for Frankenstein. Do it for everything. Do it for the new Knives Out movie coming out, Wake Up Dead Man. Like, keep doing it. Put your movies in theaters. We'll go see them, and you'll finish #1 in the box office.
I
No
know.
reason you can't contend with the other studios. Netflix, let this be a sign, and also a sign for us to maybe watch it at some point. But I like the look of it because maybe it'll inspire Netflix.
Yeah, I want to see those movies in theaters. Who doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, I don't
Knives
see
Out,
why it has to be
Frankenstein.
any. I don't see why it has to be any different. Movies like that are made to be seen on the big screen,
Mm-hmm.
and I think Netflix has to know that. They
They're
don't always
getting there.
act like that, but yeah, maybe they're
They're
getting
starting.
there. I wanted to talk to you a little bit while we're in the box office number segment of our episode, though,
Mm-hmm.
about something we've talked about a little bit over the last couple of episodes, but a kind of, I don't want to say finale to that conversation, but just kind of a good tail end here for the time being, because I don't think another comic book movie is slated to come out in the year 2025. I don't think so.
Mm-mm.
And so, at least not a major one theatrically. So, 2025 will finish as the first year since 2011 where no comic book film finished with 700 million or more dollars globally at the box office.
You know, that's interesting because 2011 had Thor and Captain America, the first Avenger.
Right. I mean, neither film has been looked back upon like that great in the years though. Like I
Right.
can't speak to at the time. I mean,
But like
obviously
that's
they
what I'm
did well.
Superman and Fantastic Four are so much better. And
Well, like
Thunderbolts is so
so
much better.
let me go through the numbers for you here because some of them are very interesting actually.
Okay.
So we'll go in order of how much they made. Superman is going to be the highest grossing comic book film of the year. It is currently sitting at $604 million. That's off of a $225 million budget. And all the budget numbers, by the way, are before marketing costs. I
Yeah.
didn't go that far with my notes. But $225 million production budget. It made $604 million currently. That's still really good. But yes, it does fall short of $700 million. The Fantastic Four is currently sitting at $490.5 million. That's off a $200 million budget. Again, it's decent, but it's not even at
Yeah.
half. It's not even at $500 million for the Fantastic Four. I definitely think that's got to be considered a bit of a disappointment for those standards. Captain America: Brave New World. This one is a disaster. It made $415.1 million globally. Its initial budget was $180 million. But as this one, we all know this notoriously had a bunch of reshoots and
Uh-huh.
all that. Can you take a guess at what the budget ended up being?
So it was 180 million at first.
The initial budget for the film was 180.
300 million.
Between 350 and $400 million is what it ballooned up to. And it made 415.1 globally.
And it's not a good movie. It's
No.
fine. It's
No, this
okay.
was a complete bomb for
Holy
Marvel.
shit.
A complete disaster for Disney and Marvel. So that they had to have basically lost money, if not barely broken even.
Yeah,
On
millions
that
down
one.
the drain, bro.
And then Thunderbolts was the lowest grossing comic book film of the year, making $382.4 million. That being off $180 million budget. So it's not like as big of a bomb as Brave New World, but still probably considered a little bit of a disappointment for the studio. And it's funny, like you look at these numbers, and what is your initial thought? Probably like, is it comic books or is it, we've talked about like the theaters in general and the affordability to go to the theaters.
No, I don't think it's the theaters.
I don't
I
either.
Because you have like movies like Lilo and Stitch making $1 billion.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I like Lilo and Stitch made $1 billion. Minecraft movie made 955 million, just a little over that.
Uh-huh.
Sinners made 365.8 million, which is lower than all of the comic book movies by, Thunderbolts by not much, but it ended up being the 12th highest grossing horror film of all time. So that's a success for it.
I
And
yeah.
then the biggest one to me is comparing it to Superman. Superman made 604 million, F1 603.7 million. That's an original film from Apple making 603.7 million dollars contending with Superman.
I don't even think it's like superhero fatigue. I think it's just bad movie fatigue. Like, look at all the past Jurassic. This is the first Jurassic World movie this year to not hit $1 billion. It's not because it's the worst Jurassic World movie. It's not. There are way worse Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies. This is not the worst comic book movies. There's way worse ones that made way more money. Captain Marvel in 2018 made $1 billion. It's one of Marvel's. That's one of my least favorite Marvel movies, and most people agree.
It's probably better than Brave New World.
It is better than Brave
It's
New World,
better than
but
Brave
it's
New
not as good
World.
as the other three.
Yeah.
But that I think it's just because recently we've had Thor: Love and Thunder, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Brave New World is, people see Brave New World, maybe they don't want to watch Thunderbolts right after, something like that. We have all these terrible movies in a row. We have the shitty Jurassic World movies. The last DC movies were like the Justice League and The Flash. The Flash was the last DC movie. That was fucking terrible. So I think we just need to keep
Aquaman and the
churning.
Lost Kingdom, I think, was the like final one to come
Yeah,
out for
you're
them
right. And then there
too.
was
And
like
no one even.
Shazam actually might have been one of those.
Yeah,
I don't
one
know.
of those Shazam Fury of the Gods, that was a
Or
disaster.
Blue Beetle, which was good. Blue Beetle was good.
Blue Beetle was good,
But I do think that because they're churning out all these shitty movies, when they make a good one, people are like, why would I pay to see that? It's probably going to be shitty.
no, I get it.
And it's not superhero fatigue because you see like good movies during the peak of Marvel, peak of DC actually get their flowers. And then, the shitty movies or the good movies during the shitty times don't. But I don't know. I don't
I
know.
would not
It's tough.
say it's that there. I wouldn't say people have superhero fatigue, but I also would say it does somewhat dictate a shifting in the mass audience's interests a little bit, and that happens. Like superheroes aren't or were never going to and are never going to remain the most popular type of genre or subgenre or type of film forever. For a long time, westerns were obviously something that really dictated the American public. Then gangster movies and sci-fis and superheroes, like it's just the natural progression of culture, and that's fair. But that doesn't mean that we're going to stop making superhero movies and that, they're going to come out and still be really good. It just means like maybe they're not going to be these $1 billion blockbusters anymore.
Right. Like if Superman, we know Superman was great. If Supergirl is great, that's two in a row. Maybe people are going to be like, all right, the third movie, what is it, Clayface? Let's go watch Clayface. Because the first two movies of James Gunn's DC were fantastic. The third one's going to be fantastic too. I think that's got to be the progression of things. And with how fragile the superhero movie realm is right now, I think any shitty movie in James Gunn's DCU specifically is going to be like leading to its downfall.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that's part of it. I don't think Clayface is going to be a $1 billion movie, though. Like, I don't think it's going to
No.
be, I don't know that that's going to be a level. I just don't think that's an expectation studios can, like, for, the DC and Marvel to be exact, like, can really expect or strive for right now in any of their films. Like, I think they got to be modest about it. Like that's the problem with the ballooned budgets. Here's the thing, like, well, Doomsday's a bad example. It should hypothetically make $1 billion, but then
But
again,
that's what we said about Superman.
that's what we said about Jurassic World.
Uh-huh.
So just because every Avengers movie has made $1 billion before doesn't mean that Doomsday's going to make $1 billion now. What
And
if
that's what
people
I'm
have
saying
stopped
about
caring?
Spider-Man.
If Dune Messiah comes out the same day, that is going to take enough away that it could potentially harm Doomsday if people are also in the same mindset about superheroes that they have been. And another thing, if Marvel goes away for a whole year and people kind of like, the general public kind of moves on and starts like thinking about other things, like by the time it comes back around, they might not care as much. I'm not saying that Marvel should be coming out with all this slop in between.
Yeah.
It's just something that you got to consider truthfully. So it's a tightrope that they're walking. But certainly like you look at these trends and I don't think that you can ignore that there's a lot of different avenues and factors that come into play here with why not a single one of these was able to hit the $700 million mark when it's happened for every year since 2011. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see how they manage. It's gonna be interesting.
Obama was president the last time that happened. I mean, come on, man. First term too. Like,
Yeah,
what?
you would blame Obama, bro.
On this?
Yeah, you're
No.
blaming Obama for both of them, aren't you?
Yeah, I blame. No, I'm not even going down that rabbit
don't,
hole. I'm not
don't
even gonna
continue
make
that
that
joke.
joke. No, people will take it seriously. But I just thought that was interesting to highlight
Yeah.
because you look at it and you say, well, what does this mean now going forward for the DCU or the MCU or the whatever the fuck CU? So I don't know. We'll have to see.
The
You.
BODCU.
We'll have to see you. The BD what? The what?
The BODCU.
Oh, I had to think about that for a second. I was so distracted. Yeah, man, the BODCU.
We're
We're coming
starting
out
it.
with spin-offs and shit and
Yeah, we are.
animated shows. It's gonna be cool. So those are your box office numbers for the weekend of August 22nd through the 24th. And I guess the superhero ones from the year 2025. So that is that. And I guess we'll move on and talk about the film that came in 8th on those box office numbers. That is very
Lucky
fitting.
number 8.
Oh, that is very fitting for this one. Honey Don't, the new film directed by the one Coen brother, Ethan Coen, starring Margaret Qualley, as well as Aubrey Plaza, Charlie Day, and Chris Evans. Basically, it is about a private detective named Honey O'Donoghue who investigates a series of different murders that occur that are connected to this weird church where Chris Evans is the pastor at, and she is trying to figure out like how it's all related. So I'm going to go ahead and get into this. I'm going to ask you beforehand, can I just go for spoilers or do you care about this film? Probably
I've
not.
been told to never see this movie by multiple
So,
people, so
all right. I'm going to just say now, spoilers for the film Honey Don't. If you don't want to hear spoilers, skip ahead to the next chapter in this episode. But I gave this film 4 sex scenes out of 10. But let me tell you, there are definitely more than 4 sex scenes in the movie. 10 might be closer to the number of sex scenes in this
goddamn.
movie.
Are you watching porn in the movie theater?
It kind of felt like that after a while. I'm not even exaggerating. It kind of felt like porn after a while. So this kind of stunk, unfortunately.
But you're not like anti-raunchiness and stuff like that. But there's a limit.
No,
There is a limit.
I'm not anti-raunchiness. I think raunchiness that serves a narrative purpose is awesome. As I love it just as much as gore or action or anything else. If it makes sense in the story, great. And it's not that it didn't make sense in the story. It just felt like it was just being stuffed in there to have it. It wasn't like to just have boobs and to have fucking Margaret Qualley and Aubrey Plaza munching box and it was just
all right, I'll see the movie. Jeez.
You're like, you know what? We pause this episode and I'm gonna go. He's like, wait, let me get a cam rip of it online real quick. I don't have time to get to the theater. No, yeah, unfortunately it was very confusing. Like it just was all over the place and the characters weren't really interesting enough to kind of pull anything together, and it felt very directionless. It didn't have the sauce, is the way I like to put it. And it's hey, this is a big day for Drive-Away Dolls people. Like I didn't hate like Drive-Away Dolls. Like this was worse than that. Drive-Away Dolls
I didn't love Drive-Away Dolls.
I didn't love it either, but I didn't hate it. It had a little bit of a silliness charm to it. Didn't take itself too seriously. This kind of buddy road trip adventure. Honey Don't was just a very like motionless film. I don't know. It just felt very like didn't go anywhere. Kind of was just a lot of side plots and a lot of nothingness. I mean, Margaret Qualley was really, great. She's always great. I mean, and I want to shout out Aubrey Plaza. because obviously the whole thing with her husband. So like it's great to he obviously killed himself. So like it's great to see that she is out there working and like doing interviews. I saw she had the interview on Amy Poehler's podcast. Shout out, let's do a collab, Amy Poehler. But
we'll hop on in a second.
yeah, right. But we'll bring Bible study to her podcast,
That's right.
and Seesaw. But no, like I'm just happy to see that Aubrey Plaza's like out and doing stuff again. So, I'm glad that she was in this and everything. And obviously, I loved like Charlie Day. Not really a lot of him in this. He's just kind of
Okay.
there. Like I don't
Chris
know.
Evans.
It's Chris Evans. He's having fun, but his whole character doesn't really like. It just kind of ends abruptly, and you're like, oh, okay. There's this whole thing. Like basically, he's the leader of this church, and they push drugs or whatever, and he fucks all the people. It's like a cult, and he like fucks, all the women in the church.
Uh-huh.
And he's like got this kind of partnership with what they call the French. That's just what they refer to it as. It's pretty lazy.
Okay.
And he ultimately gets killed by like their handler that they send. She's like this really sexy lady, and he's trying to fuck her, and she turns him down because she like is better than him and whatever. Anyway, so she finally gives in, and they have sex. And he's like, "What made you change your mind?" And she's like, "Oh, because the French are like upset." And then she kills him, and it's just like, oh, so he never even has that final confrontation with Honey, which Honey O'Donoghue, the main character. So it just felt very abrupt, and so the whole thing to me was just a weird, like it just didn't work.
Yeah, I'm not
If
seeing that shit.
if you want my opinion, Ethan Cohen, you should call your brother Joel. And if you guys got into a fight, you should make up and start making movies again, because you guys used to do things like No Country for Old Men and all that, and just now it's not it. Don't have the sauce on your own.
It's just not, and I kind of feel bad for Margaret Qualley because I feel like she owes him a favor or something.
I don't know. I mean, she clearly likes working with him. Like she clearly likes
But these
these
movies are
movies and
not
these
good.
characters. Well, I think she likes the characters, and I can see why. She plays them well, and the characters that Ethan Cohen writes for Margaret Qualley, I will say, suit her abilities well.
Mm-hmm.
They do. Between Honey O'Donoghue and whatever the fucking character in Drive Away Dolls was, it was Jamie. Like these characters, I feel like, and they're different from each other, to be honest. The Jamie, who and Honey O'Donoghue, very different. But I don't know. You're right. I feel like she is also better than his directing, and that's why. Look, I think if Ethan and Joel Cohen reunite and start directing again together, bring Margaret Qualley along. I think she's perfect for that Cohen style.
Yeah.
These films aren't working. You know what it feels like to me? It almost feels like he has this idea for this really good movie in his head, and he keeps making like mediocre versions, like printing it
He keeps
out
trying until
over and over to
he
get it
gets it right.
right. Yeah, and it's just
Because
not happening, buddy. Like it's just not working out.
yeah, because when I saw the trailer for this movie, it seemed very similar to Driveway Dolls, just like thematically and like obviously same actress and
Sort of thematically, but very stylistically similar.
yeah. Well, yeah, just from what I could tell, there's like these a lesbian couple, lots of sex scenes, a mystery involving the police, and a group of bad people that are doing bad shit. You know what I mean? That's in both of those movies.
Yeah, no, that does sum it up pretty well. This one just doesn't have Matt Damon trying to bring deliver a briefcase or whatever
Of his own dick.
Yeah, dude, what a fucking wild movie. But no, I mean, Honey Don't. I mean that was just it had me feeling like I was watching that. I was like, man, I felt like in Interstellar when like he's behind the bookcase and he's screaming at himself. No, like that's how I felt leaving the theater. Like Josh, don't, Josh, don't. Josh, don't.
You hear someone say, "Don't see that movie," and you're looking around. You're like, "What?"
I know. I was like, "What's going on?" Josh, don't. No, don't let me go in the theater. Don't. Yeah,
dude, you gotta warn yourself sometimes.
No, you know what? That's what A-list is all about. Sometimes, like, you just gotta go see those movies. But like I said, Josh, don't wasn't for me.
I would love to talk about a movie. If is that all your thoughts on that?
That pretty much sums it up, I would say. So that's Honey Don't. Yeah, it came out and happened, and some of us, but not a lot of us, saw it because it finished in 8th in the box office, and its opening weekend in late August, which sucks. So yeah,
I'm really excited to talk to you about Weapons.
yeah. I
You
bet you
saw
are.
Weapons a week before I did, or actually
No,
only
a
a couple
couple weeks.
days
It was
before I
like
did.
2 weeks ago, I think. It was 2 episodes ago.
Oh, was it? Okay.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it was 2 episodes
I
ago
only
that
saw it a couple days after you, I
No, you
think.
didn't. You just saw it. I watched it.
When did I see it?
You
All
saw
right,
it
anyway.
it's been a couple weeks since I've seen Weapons.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hold on. Fact check.
Jack's perception of time is fuck.
I saw Weapons on August 19th, and you saw Weapons on... Where the fuck are you?
I saw
August
Weapons.
7th. Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 weeks before me. Anyway,
Yep. That checks out.
I'm just going to say right now, you loved Weapons, right?
Yep. It's my
I
probably my second favorite movie of the year.
I loved Weapons. And then I got to the end, and I hated Weapons. So overall, I think Weapons was okay. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 on Letterboxd, so that's a 7 out of 10. It's fine. I'll tell you right now why I think the ending sucks. There's all this suspense, all this buildup. Everything is great throughout the entire movie. I'm in it. I'm like, I cannot wait to see how this movie ends. It's going to be dark. It's going to be twisted. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be scary. I'm fucking in it. Then the ending happens, and the old lady villain runs out of that house like this, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny. Like, she's going to get ripped apart in the front yard. That's crazy. And then she runs to the neighbor's house like this, screaming, and I'm like, oh, that's a little funny. Like, that's silly, whatever. And all the kids crash into the house. I'm like, oh, she's going to get ripped apart in the front yard. And then she runs through another house, and then through another house, and then across a guy's lawn while he's mowing the lawn, and then through another house, and then she gets ripped apart. And I was like, I'm already so taken out of the movie because it's so stupid right now. It's so silly. They ruined all the suspense and tension that they built up to make it a comedy for the last 5 minutes. And then, not only did they just switch totally to comedy, right at the end, the voiceover, the girl's like, and then some of them didn't even speak for years because their life has been changed and ruined. These kids will never be the same. It tries to go dark again. I'm like, you cannot go dark after turning your movie into your main villain of the movie, this dark, suspenseful character that you built up for an hour and a half, to be this dumb, idiot bitch running through the fucking lawn like a dumbass, like a cartoon character, and then go back to serious. And that literally took me out of the movie so much that it dropped me an entire point. I was at a 4.5 until that. And I was like, okay, it's silly, blah, 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 until it kept going for 5, 6, 7 more minutes. Dropped me an entire point to 3.5.
Yeah, I don't agree at all because it doesn't just become a comedy at the end. There's comedic elements throughout the entire film. It's very much
comedic elements like Josh Brolin going like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's funny. It gives me a little chuckle.
And tossing the junkie around for like a solid 2 minutes.
But you can have comedic elements, but to sacrifice an entire character that has never been funny before ever to just make her this bumbling, screaming idiot to laugh like a cartoon character was so stupid. Not.
But the whole thing is that once they were able to get past, she can't physically defend herself, and that's the point. She becomes weak and a bumbling idiot. You see that she is actually that's kind of the point.
You don't think that it took a little too long for her to just run through 4 houses?
No.
Like, you don't think that was a little long?
I thought the entire theater was having a blast. I loved it. It was a great experience. I thought it was well done.
I thought it ruined all the suspense and tension. I think
everyone was cracking up that when you see him doing the like mowing the lawn and like between the 2 houses in the yard with them running. Everyone was cracking
laughing.
Up.
I was laughing. It was funny, but
it didn't
make
ruin
it good.
Anything because it was. I think it was a great. Like I know you wanted it to be some sort of big sad ending, but I think there was a kind of like bittersweetness to it in the fact that they are traumatized forever from this experience, even though at the end they were saved and they got their vengeance on this person.
No, that's not. I didn't need it to be sad. If they ran through the first house and then ripped her apart, it would have been fine because it's a little tiny joke.
Yeah,
the whole movie. So then the whole movie is little tiny jokes, but they made this one an extra 5 to 10 minutes long of her
It was
running and
not
screaming.
5 to 10 minutes.
It
Your
was
exaggeration
really
is
long,
so
dude.
crazy. Dude, your perception of time is
And let me
so
tell you this.
fucked up. It was not a 5 to 10 minute scene of them running around.
Let me tell you all the little
insane.
nitpicks, too, that I have that are just so stupid, okay?
That's crazy.
They make it a point to say, in this world, there are Ring cameras. Lots of people have them. Check your Ring camera, check your Ring camera, check your Ring camera. Security in most of the houses in the area, whatever. Then, an hour later, they show all the children running across the front yards of all these houses. Not a single one of them has a fucking camera. The police didn't go to any of those places. Dumb, okay?
What are you talking about? When they ran when?
When they're running to the lady's house, you know?
Yeah, they see them on the Ring cameras and that's it.
No. They see them running out of their own houses. But why are they, when they're running across people's lawns, they literally show 17 kids running across these people's lawns into this lady's house. No one checks their Ring cameras? You get a notification in Ring. Security sent you a notification when there's someone on your lawn. The police didn't say.
Maybe those people didn't have Ring cameras.
Every single, that's what I'm saying. It's stupid. And then another thing.
Not every single person, but that's the thing. Not every single one of them. You're acting like every single person in that neighborhood.
But someone.
Some had.
It's like 5 miles away. They ran like miles
that
and
street
miles.
wasn't that big though. That they all converge only at that last street there, and it wasn't that like.
But what I'm saying is that they ran miles and miles. They had to have run across other people's lawns. At least one of them had to have cameras to know what direction they were going.
Maybe so, but that still wouldn't have told them where they went anyway. So they would have seen them just run by.
Because they were running in a straight line, apparently.
No, but they were all coming from different directions. Sure, I can get behind the fact that the police were lazy and not good enough to figure that out. And they should have been. That I think the movie makes it a point about that a little bit too. But yes, obviously, like, if you're just seeing the Ring camera and you just see it, like, go by, like, you're going to say they went that way, but that's it. You know, they're not going to be able to, like, it would be on the police to put it together. And obviously the police wasn't good enough at their job. And that was kind of part of it. It took, you know, the community itself, the parents, to step in and do it.
Right. That's stupid. And
but you know what? Why? Why is that stupid?
Another stupid
How's
thing.
that stupid?
Because, like, they literally make it a point to look at the cameras. So you would go, and, like, people, if you have a camera, which I'm assuming one person who a kid ran across would have it, would come forward and say something. Like, it's just like, what happens? There's a $50,000 reward for finding these kids. You tell me that someone saw them on the camera and didn't say anything? Like, of course they would have. But
but the police they already said that the police had gone through all the cameras.
But so that's what I'm saying. It's just like coincidence that the only people with cameras are the ones with the kids, and everyone who they ran across their lawn doesn't have a camera.
Well, that's the only ones that we need to see. That doesn't mean that they didn't have other houses, but that just
would have saved Josh Brolin so much time. He would have been like, "Oh shit, they ran across this lawn. Okay, I don't have to do all this detective work." You know what I mean? Like, he would have been able to find his kids so much earlier.
It would have, wouldn't it have? But, you know, they didn't tell him that. So what was he supposed to do?
Another thing that made no sense is, what are her powers? Is she a ghost? Like,
no, she's using witchcraft.
Why is she using witchcraft to show herself in the woods with that drug addict guy? He doesn't even know who she is. They've never met before.
Because
remember, she just sees her in the woods and he's just like, "Hello."
Yeah,
what the fuck was that? She could just appear. She could teleport. Why didn't she teleport away from the kids?
I don't know. She chose to use her fucking nephew or whatever. I don't, you know, the relationship actually was to get them, because he can go into this class because she needed the items of the fucking kids.
So why is she appearing in the woods with the guy who's living in a tent to just, like, remember when she shows up?
I don't know. She does whatever she did it so she can get him as, you know, someone that she can control for whatever that did for her, feed her or whatever the fuck, you know, keep her.
But
healthy.
She was only able to control him because the cop took him in.
Right, but she used him she used the cop to get to him, and then she had control of him too.
Right, but why did she show up in the woods and wave at him? Like, they just wanted to jump scare us, is what I'm saying. It just doesn't make any sense in the story, and you're establishing that this lady can show up wherever she wants. Like, that's bad writing.
But is she actually like there?
I
That's
don't
the
know because they don't
thing.
establish what she can
So
do or who
you
she
know what I
is.
mean? Yeah, but there's supposed to be mystery to it. That's not everything in every movie needs to be tidied up and
No, no, no.
explained down to a T.
This is the Pirates of the Caribbean thing because it's a mystery until you find out who she is, and then you go, wait, let me think back to that scene. That's dumb because in Pirates of the Caribbean, you've seen them, right? You've seen the first one.
Yeah, but I want to know.
The,
But
they
okay.
wait, just let me finish. In Pirates of the Caribbean, in the beginning scene, we if you've seen the movie, you all know that Barbossa's crew are undead. They literally get shot and they just stand there. They don't get affected. But in the first scene, we don't know that yet. So Will throws an axe into some guy and he gets hit and he falls over and lays there. We've seen people get hit by axes later when we know the reveal and they don't get affected by it. They just keep it a mystery. They do that to not, tell the mystery. So this is the same thing where it's like they're showing she can do all this stuff, but when they explain what she can do, she can't do that shit. She doesn't do it at all past the point of once we know what she can do.
She probably can't do it without the witchcraft stuff, and I don't think she's teleporting her physical body. I think it's like some sort of like hallucination visual kind of thing that she's
For
able
this
to do
random
there.
guy though, and like why
Because he's an easy target.
are the
He's a
dreams
drug
that
addict.
are the dreams that the dad and the teacher are having caused by her? Or are they just dreams? Because I thought they were getting haunted at first, and then I found out who she is. I'm like, wait, is that just a dream they had?
That's part of the mystery. That's an interpretation.
That's stupid.
Jack, why do you want everything to be answered for you? Why can't you ever have an interpretation? How do you interpret it? Do you think it's a dream or do you think she was doing it?
I
It doesn't have
interpret
to
it
be
as
explained.
I
all the
interpret it as
time.
they established that she can't do that stuff. She has to do the poke and do this all stuff, and then they were just random dreams.
Okay,
and this guy just randomly saw her.
So then they're having visions, nightmares about it. So then that's your interpretation of
That's
it.
so
But
dumb.
they weren't. But I don't think they saw her. The two of them saw
They
her
didn't see
in there.
her.
That's what I'm saying. So that's not her doing it. It's just a nightmare that they're having. How's that dumb?
And see all these little nitpicks, like the cop opening
No,
it
man,
very, very slowly instead of announcing himself, so he gets stabbed in the face. Like that's crazy.
I think you just need everything to have a logical down to a T instead of any kind of interpretation or like open-ended, imagination with a
I'm
film.
just trying.
Mystery is part of it, especially in horror. There's mystery all around it. They leave things open-ended on purpose.
I'm fine with mystery. I don't need an origin story for her, but I like to understand the capabilities and the limits in a world that we have.
I just don't think we need to for this particular story. She, I think, serves the purpose that she needs to. I don't think every part of her needs to be explained. I think it would ruin some of the mystery if we don't know where she comes from or why she's doing this or her real relationship to the family. And I think that adds to that lasting suspense of the film as well. Like, I just don't think you need that tied up.
But you don't think, I mean, they're acting like she's this all-powerful creature.
She's not all powerful.
But she can literally, like, project her image into people's thoughts and minds. But then at the end, she runs around screaming like a little bitch. Like,
because she doesn't have the witchcraft anymore, so there's nothing left she can do.
But why didn't she have the witchcraft? Just have it. You can do anything
because they got into the
house.
Because she doesn't always have it with her because the fucking
because for some reason she went downstairs and left it.
Julia Garner, yeah, she didn't expect them to be getting into the house. She doesn't carry it with her everywhere she goes. We see her sitting down around whatever, walking around. It's not like she has it like literally strapped to her. So, she's in the house. She doesn't expect that Josh Brolin and Julia Garner's characters are going to be there. And then obviously obviously the whole thing with her nephew or whatever too, he's able to get it separated. He defies her. He goes in there. Like, I just think, she gets beat and that's fair. Not every antagonist is the most intelligent being in the world. She has this power, but she can be beat because she was outsmarted by people who were more determined than her. And I think some of the mystery left to her character is fair to leave to mystery. I don't think every little thing has to be explained. So I think it works for me.
I do have questions and I'm fine not having answered. Like, I do want to know why she chose her sister and her husband to attack. Like, that's fine. I don't need to know why. She just did. I want to know why or how, like, controlling these people.
We don't even know if she's
her.
actually related to them, though.
Right. I want to know how or why controlling these people heals her, but it's fine. I don't know it. But I just do think it's lazy to establish this character as having all these abilities, not explain how she does it or what she can do, and then have her end like a literal like SpongeBob cartoon.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
It
I'll
just
agree
took
to
me out.
disagree. I don't think it took me out nearly as much in that way as it took you out.
And I thought it was
Um,
funny, but it just wasn't for that movie for me. Like I laughed and I was like, this is funny, but like
no,
I can find things
I
funny
actually
that
think I think it was pretty fitting. I mean, as children, and I think that's the kind of ending for that kind of scenario that I don't know. I think it fits very well. I felt very satisfied as an audience, like as a viewer, watching it and feeling like this is where the story was naturally going towards, or I'm not saying I predicted it per se, but like that's not what I'm saying, but it just felt natural and fitting in terms of that balance of that suspense and comedy. So I feel like it comes down to it, this just being a type of movie that you don't like as much as other type of movies, and that's fair. Now that I can't argue with
okay.
you.
Let me ask you this. You like some Marvel movies, of course, right?
Yeah.
But there is the thing, Marvel humor, when they cut tension with a stupid joke that kind of ruins the moment, right?
Yeah, I didn't think this was kind of like Marvel humor in my
But
opinion.
no, I think the humor in this was very well placed, like the Josh Brolin funny lines and the teacher, whatever. Except the ending, of course. But I think the rest of it was well placed. But if you have well placed humor throughout a movie, like Avengers Endgame, and then the climax, Tony Stark's about to snap his fingers, and instead of saying "I am Iron Man," he says, "I am your daddy, Thanos," and it makes a joke right there and clap and does it. You don't think that one line? Yeah, it's just one line. It was him
No,
being
because
funny.
that's
You could even laugh. I would see that and be like, "What the hell?" It's crazy.
you're making a very absurd, exaggerated comparison, in my
No, it's
opinion.
making a making the last climax a
but you're
comedy.
already but no, because I think in this particular movie, I don't think it was a full on comedic climax either. There was still other things going on at that moment with the choking out back at the house, and then they start
But it
being
wouldn't
like
be a full-on comedic climax. They would have the
it
whole
wasn't a
battle.
full on
He would
comedic
just say,
climax.
"No, I'm saying the Avengers one wouldn't be. There would be a
Yeah,
whole battle.
but
He would snap his fingers,
that's
make
what I'm
one
saying.
2 second joke."
That line that you're saying that he would say is obviously a much more absurd example than what happens in Weapons. Is the point I'm trying to make?
Well, because Avengers is a much more comedic movie anyway. It's obviously a much more absurd movie. This is a horror movie that got comedic at the end. This is a partially
But
comedy
no,
movie anyway.
with comedic elements, and it didn't get comedic entirely at the end. It was one little gag in a movie that
That's what this
had
would be.
gags.
One line, and then he dies, and everyone around him's depressed and sad, and they're like,
But
"Holy
that's
fuck,
what
he's
I'm
dead."
saying. The gag in Weapons is so much less exaggerated than that line, or less absurd, I should say, of her being chased than him saying something like that. You're
Fine, I'll
purposely
let
choosing
you
something very absurd.
I'll let you imagine what it could be, and it's a line that he says instead of Iron Man. It's literally a joke. It's a joke line that's maybe not super absurd, but it's a joke line, and it literally ruins that scene. Does that not kind of ruin part of the movie for you? If
I
they
get what
built
your
up,
point is, but I don't think that the moment of the children chasing her is the same moment, the same beat in the film as the like the same one singular beat as that. Like I don't think of it in that
I
way.
think it's just like the climax.
Yeah, I know, but I think you're putting a lot of exaggerated emphasis on something that was a lot shorter than you are remembering it to be. It was
I
not
think it's long, dude. I think it's at least 5 minutes
it was not
because they
5 minutes.
run through all the houses.
It was like
And she runs across the lawn, and
you're
Josh Brolin runs through the house, and they go, "There's a guy in the house," so he has to
yeah,
get
it
through
was like
two
a few
houses.
minutes. It was not 5 minutes.
It's long, bro.
You're
Like I swear to
crazy.
God.
The whole movie, yeah, no, it was not fucking 5 to 10 minutes of that. I think it was. Look. I understand your opinion. I just don't agree with it. That
And
is
I'm
what it
not. It's not
is.
to say that the movie sucks. Like I enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
but I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
This
I
is
gave. I was at a 9 out of 10 until then. Now I'm at a 7 out of 10.
which makes it lower than Fantastic Four, which has a lot more plot holes in it and is like a lot of stuff that they took out of it. I find that surprising. But even lower than Jurassic World on your list is fucking insulting almost to the
Yeah,
movie, in
well,
my
the
opinion.
ending of
That's
Jurassic World
crazy.
also sucks, but it
But the
didn't
whole
do a
fucking
total.
movie sucks. The
No,
whole
I liked the
movie
movie.
sucks.
I
It's
liked it.
boring. It's no, that movie is not that good compared to Weapons.
It's
That
like a
is
7.5 and a 7.
no. I don't know. I think that's crazy to me. But
Alright.
you know what? That's movies for you, I guess.
Well, that's what I just wanted to say about Weapons. Thank you for arguing with me about it.
Fair enough. Weapons is still one of the goated movies of the year and should be treated as such
Mhm.
because it was a classic. So, well, another horror movie. Unless you had anything else since you saw it recently
No,
that
no,
you wanted
that's
to
it.
say.
I liked it. I thought, I really, but I do want to say actually, I love the non-linear storytelling.
The chapters. What was your
Yeah, I
favorite
love that.
chapter?
I'm gonna say Archer.
Okay,
I really wish we got more of Josh Brolin and the teacher.
I agree with that. I do.
They were really together only for like a couple minutes. I feel like, but
And I think that's just because of the nature of the way the plot was moving.
yeah.
But I do agree that like it would have been cool to see more.
What was your favorite?
I mean, I his is one of them, obviously, and I love Justine's. But I gotta say, like Alex's point of view, even before that ending, like that
That's my
we
second
could talk
favorite.
all up and down it about it, but everything leading up to it too, like I think was so well done. And he was
Yeah,
one of the standouts of this film too. So, like I would say his for sure.
I did think there were a couple that we didn't even need. Like, did we really need Paul? Like, I don't know.
I mean, we did in terms of some of the story threads of the other chapters. And like to showcase the police's role in something like this in suburban community.
Yeah, I really liked, James. That's the druggie, right?
Yeah.
He reminded me so much of Timothy Chalamet when he was in the house scrounging for stuff, and then when he's with the police officer. Like, I got such Timothy Chalamet vibes.
Dude, it's kind of like Timothy Chalamet from Don't Look Up.
That's exactly what I was thinking of, bro.
That's kind of where I see that from. Yeah. So, all right. No, I mean, like, that's cool. I'm glad you saw it though. Like that,
Yeah, me too.
above anything else, like when movies like this are coming out, it's all about supporting original stuff. Love it
Yeah,
or hate it or anything in between.
I would
Like,
rewatch it too because I thoroughly enjoyed most of it.
you got to see Barbarian now. Like that's something you should watch.
Yeah,
I'm curious because you know what? To be honest, you might like Barbarian more. Maybe
I already know everything that pretty much happens in that movie. That's the problem.
that sucks. Yeah, but that I still don't feel like that should like that was what you do at Get Out, which I don't think that should bring your rating so far down just because you seen spoilers. Like I don't know. I get it. I get it. Ruins that first time
Well, I think it's kind of
experience,
like
but
how like in Spider-Man No Way Home, Andrew Garfield comes out and then it's really quiet because they're kind of waiting for the audience to like
well,
clap
they
and like laugh.
build in an applause into the movie, which is fucking stupid.
They did.
Well, no, not no. I meant like build in the applause break. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, that's what I'm
that's
saying.
what I
But
meant.
I feel like
Yeah,
for some horror movies, if you know what's gonna happen, they kind of expect like a reaction, and you just don't react because you know it's happening. I don't
I don't
know.
know. I don't really see that. I mean, I don't think it stays on for in most cases for an unnecessary amount of time. I'm sure there are examples. I'm sure.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't doubt it. I just don't think that that's something like I don't think that that happened in Weapons, for example.
Not that I could think of.
But or
Maybe it'll
Sinner, definitely
happen.
not in Sinners for that
Maybe it'll
matter.
happen
Sinners is goaded.
in this next horror movie we're
In
about to
this
talk about.
next one, I hope not, because I'm really intrigued by this next one. So the trailer came out for this recently for a film that was never supposed to catch this much attention. We'll get into it. Called Good Boy. It's a horror film entirely from the perspective of a dog who watches their owner go through a paranormal like experience or whatever, get possessed or I don't know. We'll see what happens. So the trailer came out. We watched it. I want to get your thoughts, but I just want to say before you give me your thoughts about this movie. It's really cool because this is an independent film that was initially slated for just some small limited release, but all the social media buzz that this is getting with the premise, with the dog and everything, has pushed it to a wide release.
Mm.
So now this could get a lot of attention, and it's coming out at a good time of year, even for potential some kind of awards push. Probably not, but still, what do you think?
I don't even think I'm gonna see this movie. It
Really?
looks really good, but I think it's gonna be so fucking sad. Like, I can't with dogs, bro. Like, if the dog's not gonna die, I'm guessing the dog's not gonna die. That's my
Well, you know
prediction.
what's funny is people were like, I hope you didn't like. I hope you don't know that for a fact.
No,
Like,
that's my prediction. I don't know.
oh, okay. I don't think the dog's gonna die either. I mean, probably not. But like, I think I saw that after this trailer came out, like there was a spike in searches on Google, people trying to like find out if the dog dies at the end or not. I
Because
don't want
that's
to
gonna
know, but I
deter a
wouldn't
lot
want
of
to
people
know.
from wanting to watch the movie
Yeah,
if
but
there's a
I don't
chance the
want.
dog dies.
I agree. I mean,
But in the trailer, the dog is sad and in the rain at points, and it's like scared. Like I
well,
can't, me
if you
personally,
were a
cannot sit through
dog, if
what?
you were, I was just gonna say, if you were a dog and your owner was like getting
No,
possessed,
I
you'd be
know
pretty
it
fucking
makes
sad
sense that
too.
that's what the movie is, but I can't sit through 2 hours of a dog being scared and alone and sad without wanting to rip my fucking face off. So I really don't think I'm going to see this movie because that's like, it's like watching the most horrific documentary, like shit like that. Like it's just, I can watch people get possessed and I can watch like people get murdered on screen, but I don't know, it's like watching a really fucked up movie, but it's a dog.
I mean, for example, first of all, the movie is only 73 minutes, so it's not even barely over an
Oh, that's
hour.
not. Maybe I could sit through that then.
Second of all, I totally I get it. Like in a lot of instances, I draw the line at animal abuse in films and television. You know, I no one wants to see that, but like very few instances of something where it's like it's real. This happens, and we can't pretend as such if it doesn't make sense for a particular story that should be told, if that makes sense. And that's not to say you should or shouldn't go see it. You reserve the right. I'm just saying, in my opinion,
Right, well, this isn't real
um,
and this doesn't happen.
well, I know. I mean,
It's ghosts, bro.
but I don't think. Well, we don't really know what the fuck is going on here, to be honest with you. I
That's
guess
true. And
it's
I also
ghosts.
ghosts could be real. So,
Yeah. What do we know for real? I mean, have you ever
mhm.
been dead before? No. So, um,
Never will be.
well, okay. Um, so I don't know. I mean, like, I'll probably see it because I think it looks interesting, and like, I don't think the dog's gonna die at the end. I think the dog's gonna be fine. So, like, I'm really just curious about this concept. And the dog, like, I'm prepared to throw my hat in the ring for this dog to win an Oscar. Like,
Imagine, dude, like a
dude,
pet Oscars.
I mean, in Anatomy of a Fall, the dog Messi, the dog played the dog Snoop in the movie and gave actually such a good performance because there was like a scene in that movie where the dog like overdoses on something, and like the dog has to play like it's dying, and then like they have to save the dog. And I guess that's a bit of a spoiler for Anatomy of the Fall, so sorry, but whatever. It's
Yeah, I
relevant
don't
here.
care.
But so that happens and the dog gets saved and the dog is fine and gets back, but the dog like actually acted out the whole thing of like being sick and then like being saved,
Yeah,
and it
I
was
don't know how
so
they
good.
train them.
So like if the dog in this movie is that good, because I'm assuming it's a real dog, yeah, it's a real dog, so
That
like
dog's a better actor than you, bro.
probably. So like I would like let's get the dog's name for in Good Boys Indy, that's the dog's name, so let's
That's the
give
dog's
Indy.
real name or the character
And
dog's
both,
name?
both. Apparently, they just kept the same name for the movie.
Mm.
So Indy, let's get Indy, running on that Oscar campaign.
I do really think it's an interesting concept. I kind of wish it was like a lizard or something.
Dude, imagine it's a fish and you're just in the tank and you can't fucking do anything about
Yo,
it.
how
The
crazy! You
whole
just watch.
perspective of the movie is just a fish.
So we're watching a movie about a fish watching, because it's just watch. It's basically like he's watching a
We're
movie.
basically watching a movie about a guy getting possessed from while we're in a fish tank, basically.
That
While
would be
we're a
kind of
fish.
sick, actually.
It
No, I
would
wish it
probably
was like.
that's kind of like what was that Tom Hanks movie that came out? It was directed by Robert Zemeckis. I think it was called Here. And it was
Oh
like
yeah,
the
I never
whole
saw that.
movie. Neither did I,
The
but it
camera
was
was
like the
placed in one
whole
spot for like
in
a
one
thousand
perspective.
years.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, it was called Here, directed by Robert Zemeckis, who also is like Back to the Future and Forrest Gump and everything, which is so funny. And Tom Hanks and Robin Wright and Paul Bettany actually. were in it, and it's like apparently wasn't that great, but it's such an interesting concept. So I don't know, like
Yeah, I'll always support
trying new
these
things. Yeah,
trying new things, whether they're good or not. That's up to debate, but it's still a cool concept.
there's
And I
no
just got
way
to
to
be there and
know
be like,
until
it's
you
just a
try it.
movie. It's just a movie. It's just a movie.
It's only 73 minutes. I think you can do it. And it comes
I
out
could
in
sit through
October,
it,
perfect time. And there's no
and we'll
way the
talk
dog
about it,
dies. Like, there's
and
no
we'll
way
talk
the
about
dog
it. So
dies. Yeah, right.
yeah,
There's no way. So I don't know. That's good, boy. I'm looking forward to it though. That's just another thing that's coming out. A trailer that we had. What else? Oh, that's right. So in other news going on lately in the industry, we got news recently that the cinematographer Greg Fraser, who is known recently for having done the Dune films and the Batman, with Matt Reeves, is going to be shooting the 4 Beatles biopics that we talked about actually on this podcast a while ago that are coming out. The Sam Mendes making 4 separate Beatles biopics, one about each Beatle, all coming out in 2028. So this means that Greg Fraser is likely out now on both Dune Messiah and the Batman Part 2. Well, we definitely know he's out on Dune Messiah, but now he's likely also going to be out on the Batman Part 2 as cinematographer as well. So, I mean, I'm a little disappointed by that. I don't know about you.
why is he out for Dune Messiah? Because didn't that start filming already?
Yeah, because he was going to be doing the Batman 2. So he didn't do that. And who did I forget who they got for Dune Messiah? I'll look it up real quick. It was the same cinematographer that did No Time to Die though.
I mean, I'm not going to be
Um
surprised if the Batman Part 2 comes out in like 2030 at this point. So,
Linus Sandgren, that's who it was.
oh, so that's the
Or
cinematographer
that's
already
who's doing
confirmed
that's
for
doing
the
it
for
that's who's
Dune.
doing it for Dune Messiah. But I had heard that Greg Fraser was not doing Dune Messiah to do the Batman 2. So now I'm confused because that means he's doing the Beatles biopics instead. So that's going to probably keep him from doing, because that's 4 movies, you know.
We
So
just got to give the Batman Part 2 more problems, don't we?
I know. I mean, it's just sad because this guy's very talented, and obviously we've seen him bring both of these worlds to life.
Mm-hmm.
With some really bombastic set production. Well, not using the set production and getting great cinematography of it, and the principal photography he's able to get. Like it's been some um grand scale stuff. Like it's just obviously like I think Linus Sandgren's going to do a really good job for where Messiah is going and the type of shots that Sandgren is able to get in his history. But yeah, I mean with the Batman, for what you're saying, like the more problems that this movie really needs now, it's just like, so who's going to come in and film it? What's it going to look like? What kind of tone are we going to be
Yeah.
able to replicate that tone of Gotham from the first one? Like I hope so, but I don't know.
That was one of the best parts of the first one was Gotham felt like alive. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is like the true Gotham that we've been wanting. So it is definitely it's a loss, I'm sure, but I hope it's not a loss that we feel when the Batman Part 2 comes out.
I
I hope
totally
no one even
agree.
notices.
I think for both films, like I think obviously we're all happy and appreciative of what Greg Fraser you know, contributed to these franchises before,
Mm-hmm.
but you're right. I think that was a good way of putting it. Like hopefully it's not a loss that we feel. Like hopefully whoever comes in for the Batman is able to do just as good of a job, if not better, but just as good of a job at, bringing us Gotham or bringing us, for Linus Singer, bringing us Arrakis. So,
There's this is just a crazy like not segue, but you talk about the Batman and the cinematography. Did you see the trailer for the new Lego Batman game?
no, I've seen that people have been really talking about it though.
So it's called Lego Batman 3, like the story of the Dark Knight or something like that. And it's all the live action Batman movies in a Lego game. And they show Lego versions of scenes from the Batman, especially when he's
Yeah,
chasing the penguin and then he's walking and the shot is upside down with the fire in the background. And that just reminds me of, the cinematography of the Batman.
I
But
did see
seeing it in
that.
Lego version is so fucking funny, dude.
I know. And the Lego Batman movie is so awesome.
It's so
So it's just
good.
like I love Lego, and they
I
they
love
do
Lego
like the bat.
games.
Yeah. So no, I did see like some of the comparisons with that though. It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
funny. I
cool.
got to check out the whole thing.
Yeah, you see like Bane from The Dark Knight Rises fighting Christian Bale's Batman. Like it's cool.
Yeah, yeah. Didn't they skip? Um, the DCEU entirely in that.
There was nothing in the trailer about it. I could see
Yeah.
some stuff from like Batman 89, the Dark Knight trilogy, and from The Batman, but I didn't see any George Clooney, I didn't see any Val Kilmer, and I didn't see any Ben Affleck
Mm.
or Adam West
How
either.
dare they do? Oh, that's sacrilegious.
I
Honestly,
know. But
that
we don't
better
know
be
if it's just a
included.
quick it was the first trailer. The
Yeah,
game doesn't come
that's
out for another
true.
year.
But they better. I mean, despite your opinions, they should include all of it. Like
100%.
that's the whole
And
history. That's the
they've
point.
already done the Skywalker saga with 9 movies plus
Yeah,
DLC like content, so they can easily do like 8 or 9 Batman movies if they need to.
for sure. Well, there was one other thing you wanted to talk about this week.
Yes, speaking of DC, do you know Plastic Man?
No, not really. I did
Okay.
see a little bit about this though. What you're going to talk about?
So this is real quick. Plastic Man is a character from DC Comics. He's not super well known, but he's starting to become more popular recently. He's in a couple of the animated things, like Batman: The Brave and the Bold, and the Justice League, and Young Justice, and stuff like that. He's a hero. He was like a kind of a villain at the beginning, or like a thief, and then he becomes a hero. Rainn Wilson has talked to James Gunn recently. He's kind of been pushing himself to play Plastic Man. And I thought this was interesting because, first of all, he's 60 years old, but there's a lot of fan casts online. This is like one of the most fan casted characters I've ever seen for anybody. And Rainn Wilson has been some of the fan casts, but I don't like it. Like, I know you're not familiar, but like Plastic Man is a funny character. He's not serious at all, but he's also one of the most powerful characters of all time. Like he's like Mr. Fantastic, but multiply his power by like 100. Like he cannot die by anything. Superman can punch him and he can just not die.
Well, didn't Rainn Wilson say even if he didn't play him, he would like not mind. He just wants to see him in the DCU. So
Yeah, but I think like do you think a 60-year-old man should be cast as anything in the DCU besides a character who's supposed to be 60?
probably not,
That's my
unless that's
problem.
the
Like,
intention of the character.
yeah, exactly. Like Alfred, yeah, sure, like whatever.
But
But
like I'm saying, if they want to rework Plastic Man to be older, is what I'm saying. Like they could do that too. Not everything has to be straight ripped from the comics, but um, I'm not saying it would be my favorite casting either. I didn't really put much weight on this news in general anyway. I just figured he was saying like I want to see this character in the DCU, and it's a dream to play it. And you know what? Like they do have a history together, James Gunn and Rainn Wilson.
I
They worked
know.
together on the movie Super, which wasn't really that good. But um, maybe he finds some kind of role for Rainn Wilson in the DCU, and he should. I hope he does. Should it be Plastic Man? Probably not. But I hope he finds something for him there because it'd be cool to see them collaborate again after all these years.
I really like Ben Schwartz as Plastic Man. That's
That
been
could be
probably
interesting.
the most popular fan cast. And if Jim Carrey wasn't old, like if this was like Jim Carrey from like the 1990s, early 2000s or whatever, he would be the perfect Plastic Man.
Yeah, Jim
But
Carrey at this point he's retired except for the Sonic movies.
which is so funny.
I know,
Which is
it's very Jim Carrey.
because they're so good, those movies. Like they're actually
Yeah.
genuinely
Well,
surprisingly
but you
good.
know what's great about them is they get better. Like the first one is like all right, and then the second one was pretty good. And then the third one was actually like really good.
The third one was great. Yeah.
So now I'm like, oh my god, I don't even know what to expect from the fourth one. And like,
Yeah.
I think it's
It's
gonna
gonna be
be,
amazing. I'm sure
but
it's
it's
gonna
not
be
coming out
amazing.
for like another
A
2 years,
while.
right? Yeah,
But
2027, I think.
yeah, I did just want to throw that news out there because, like, I'm excited for the future of the DCU, and I do think James Gunn is gonna put Plastic Man in it because he is like a weird, funny, like perfectly
Yeah,
fit
yeah.
for James Gunn's universe. Um, but I think it can't be Rainn Wilson. I just don't love that casting. But if it is, I listen. I have my faith in James Gunn. If he casts him, he's got a vision for it.
Sure. No, I think it's interesting. I love seeing all the speculation now that like, the DCU's off the ground running. You have
Uh,
Superman, obviously Peacemaker had been coming out. We're going to talk a lot about that and, as that season goes on. So like it's cool to see this news come out and people like wanting to be a part of this and hopefully it means the DCU is on the up and up.
Yeah, it is cool, and I could definitely see him showing up in like someone's side project, kind of soon. I don't know. Maybe he'll
Yeah,
show up in like Peacemaker season 3 or something like that. He would fit in that universe really well. So
yeah, for
we'll
sure.
just have to
So,
wait.
well, all right. Well, it's the end of the episode, and that can only mean one thing: something we had to see and saw and see, and that's Seesaw. So, who's gonna go first?
I went first for the Bible study, so you go first.
All right. Something that I saw recently, by recently I mean last night,
Oh,
is a movie called The Underdogs. It came out last year. It's on Amazon Prime. I was trying to get myself basically I was trying to get myself hyped up for the football season. NFL kickoff is the next Thursday, September 4th. And, I'm a big fan of sports and I'm a big fan of football. I was doing some fantasy football mock drafts. I said, let me throw something on. I'd never seen this before. It's basically a film about it's Snoop Dogg. It's Underdogs with two G's, Snoop Dogg.
mm,
And he's like a former NFL player who's like fallen from grace and he gets in some trouble and he has an ego check and he needs to start coaching a little league team, little league, like, football team to kind of, and they're like underdogs basically, and he's trying to, kind of fix himself and fix them. And the movie wasn't that good. Quite frankly, it was almost sickeningly formulaic to other kinds of sports movies that follow that exact same plot line of like, former professional who has to like coach a little league team. Like think about Mighty Ducks. You know what I mean? Like
yeah. Well,
there's
it kind of
so
sounds like
many of
Fat City
them.
a little bit, or
It's
what we
it
thought Fat City was
actually
gonna
is
be.
I mean it is kind of Fat City a little bit too. Like it's just like any sports movie ever basically, right?
Classic.
So it wasn't that great and like, you know, I it was just something I had on in the background. But
Mm.
I saw it. It had been on my watch list. And something I want to see that's coming out very soon is The Conjuring Last Rites. I'm a big horror fan. We've obviously noted that throughout this podcast, even today. And this is like a franchise that I've watched a lot of over the years and have been a fan of for a long time. I love the first two. The third Conjuring movie, The Devil Made Me Do, is not so great, and some of the other films in this whole franchise, the Annabelle movies, the Curse of La Llorona, and things like that. Like, not all of it's the best. The Nun movie certainly, but like, this is supposed to be the final one, of this franchise. They're closing it out, and like, I'm not sure how it's going to be. It's the same director, Michael Chavez, that did that third Conjuring movie and La Llorona. That's not very good, but I love The Conjuring. I'm hoping they stick the landing, and it's been a long time, so it's kind of surreal to finally see that franchise come to an end.
Patrick Wilson is one of the most underrated actors working.
For sure. And him and Vera Farmiga have been like playing these roles a long time of Ed
Hmm.
and Lorraine Warren. And they've both kind of like been around in other stuff. And you're right. I love them both separately. And I love them both together in this film. Like Patrick Wilson, especially, this is probably my favorite character of his, Ed Warren, like specifically character.
I liked him a lot in Watchmen. I don't know if you ever saw it. He plays Owlman.
Yes. Yeah. A long
It's really
time
good.
ago, but yeah.
So I'll start with what I want to see because it's quick. I really want to see Fallout. I started season 1 and then got insanely busy, and then I've literally watched the first 2 episodes and never watched it again. Season 2's coming out. Everyone raves about season 1. I'm just gonna finish it. Like probably like next week I'll start it up again or something like that. And I know you're one of the people who's like raved about season
Oh, yeah.
1.
I
And season
love
2
that
looks great. I
show.
watched the trailer.
Comes out in December. So you have time.
Yeah. And I have 2 things from my Saw. One is quick, and then one I want to talk to you a little bit about. Uh, Something I saw. It's a Hulu release movie that just came out like a week ago. It's called Eeny Meeny with Samara Weaving. It was actually surprisingly good. I didn't have high expectations for it because it kind of looked like a classic like heist movie, but it was pretty good. And it's basically about this girl. She's younger and she's like used as when she's like 14 or 15. She's a getaway driver for these like for this mob family or whatever. And her parents are drug addicts. Blah blah blah. They're horrible. So that's how she gets money. That's only the first 5 minutes, and then you show her older, and she's out of that life, but then her ex-boyfriend drags her back in it because he's a fucking idiot. And it's basically about their relationship as they're doing like this heist for the mob, pretty much. And there's some cool action scenes, like her driving away. There's a heist in it. It's pretty sweet. Some cool fight scenes, and they're shooting people and running away from people and driving away. It's cool. And the ending was actually insanely good. Like the whole movie, the beginning is really good. The middle of it's like, this is fine. And then the ending was like a 10 out of 10 ending. I really think so. So I would recommend Eeny Meeny. It's definitely worth a watch because it's only
You know
like
what's
95
funny about
minutes.
that, real quick? I came across that. So I've been watching Alien Earth. I don't know if I ever updated that on here, but I did finally start
No.
it. I did
Okay.
finally start Alien Earth. And that's for another time. It's not my seesaw right now, but great, great show. But point being, I was scrolling on Hulu, and I saw Eeny Meeny, and I read it, and I watched the trailer even, and I was like, okay. And I put it on my watch list on Letterboxd, and I swear to God, later that day is when you logged it on,
Really?
like, same day
I did
you
not
logged
see
it
that
on
you did that.
Letterboxd. And because I saw that and I was like, no way. I was like, this obscure straight to streaming movie that just came out that I happened to throw on my watch list that same day, swear it was the same day you logged it. I was like, that's crazy.
It was, I think you should really watch it. It's like 90 minutes and the ending is fucking phenomenal.
I'll have to get to it at some point.
Yeah. And then the other movie I saw was, unfortunately for everyone who's seen this movie, War of the Worlds with Ice Cube. This is genuinely the worst movie probably ever made and probably to ever be made.
Yeah. But
There's just
like, it's so bad, right? I just want to say it's like so bad that it's like
it's
enjoyable to
so
watch. Like the
not
first time.
like parts of it, but parts of it are so I'm like, what the fuck? Like, dude, some of it's so funny. Like, so I'm not even gonna explain it. It's War of the Worlds, except shot from like the computer screen. It's like only showing the screen, so he's like FaceTiming everybody. Like,
Yeah, I was, that was my saw for last episode
oh
Seesaw.
right, right. How stupid was it that like every time, it's like this woman's like got a knife or like a stick impaling through her body, and she's just answering her FaceTime, and like he's FaceTiming all these like NASA workers and government agents, and like the president's on FaceTime with
I
him.
told you it's literally Amazon propaganda. Like they
Oh,
save the
100%.
day because fucking Roderick orders the flash drive to send to him, and they like use the drone to send it
Prime
via
Air
Amazon. Fucking
and the
stupidest
Amazon gift
movie of
card.
all time.
The
Yeah, the
the
Amazon gift
homeless
card.
person, they're like, well, the government will pay for your free internet for a year if you flip the drone over, and he goes, internet? What? So they could track me? And then he goes, give him $1,000 in Amazon gift cards. How the fuck's he gonna use that without internet? You know what I mean? Like, it just makes no sense. How's he gonna use
Yeah.
Amazon gift cards without the internet?
It,
And
it it is genuinely one of the worst fucking movies of all time.
there was a part, I don't know if you saw it, like you noticed it, but they're going through the mom's Facebook because the mom is dead and this, or it's Ice Cube's wife is dead, and they're looking at her Facebook, and her like Facebook banner is the son, the daughter, and the dad, Ice Cube. But he's wearing it's set from 4 years ago is when the photo was taken. He's wearing the exact same outfit with the glasses, and he's clearly cropped in between the son and the daughter. So it's like just him. They clearly said, Ice Cube, look at the camera and smile, and he's like looking at it, and it's just they just literally didn't even try. Like he's wearing the exact same outfit as he is for the whole movie.
Oh
It's
my
so
god. I
dumb,
don't no, that just can't with that movie. It's actually so like I just don't know how it got made. I just
dude.
don't
And
know how they actually did this
what's
movie.
what's Ryan Gosling's wife's name?
Ava Longoria?
Yeah, yeah, Eva Longoria. Yeah, yeah.
But that's not I thought his wife is Ava Mendez.
Oh wait, I thought it was Eva Longoria. Hold
Is
on,
it? Or am I bugging?
who's Eva Mendes? Oh, it is. Yeah, his wife is Eva Mendes. I thought his wife was Eva Longoria the whole time.
Yeah, no, all right. This time I was not bugging out. That's
No,
okay.
you're right.
It's
Uh,
always either you or me.
I thought that was his wife, and I was like, dude, she chose this role, and she's married to Ryan Gosling. Why did she do this?
I mean, it's still Ava Longoria though. Like,
I
why
know,
is
but
she?
like I don't understand why anyone was in this movie.
I just think it's so funny that when you look at Devin Bostick's filmography, it's like, War of the Worlds and like Diary of a Wimpy Kid and shit, and then it's fucking Oppenheimer. What a
Oh, I
legend.
forgot he was in Oppenheimer.
He's in Oppenheimer, dude. Roderick is in Oppenheimer.
Yeah. So if you want a stupid movie to watch with your friends that you can actually like laugh at because it's so bad, I would watch War of the Worlds.
Yeah. Never again for me, probably. But
No, me neither. Never again.
so, all right.
But that's the episode.
I think it is.
Unless it's not.
I don't know.
No, it is. It is.
I don't know. Wait, anything else? No.
Well, we're
No?
taking callers actually. I heard.
Check. I'm checking under the table. We're
We've gotten
taking callers.
requests to
Dude, you
like
know
take
what's funny
callers during the
about that?
episode.
You know what's funny about that? I got a
What?
phone call during this from Killian. He was trying to call me
You should have
real
been like, I'm
quick.
live on the pod.
Yeah, wait, hold on. I'd like for 2 seconds. Let's see if I can get him. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it. He won't be able to hear me, right?
No.
Okay. He better not say anything fucked up.
Oh, one chance. Hamilton, miss your
The
shot.
audience is in suspense right now.
Oh, all right. Well,
you know what's funny is that he's gonna watch this episode and not
yeah,
know
he's
that
gonna be
happened
like,
until the end.
I know that's gonna be pretty funny. Well, Killian, you missed your shot at a surprise second appearance via phone on the podcast. So, oh well.
Well, everyone
Life
watching
goes
this,
on.
thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, follow all the classic shit on Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok at Box Office Dynasty. Comment Bible study films. Just comment a random number. We'll add it to the Bible study list. Anything else?
Share with your friends and film lovers, and I think that's it.
I think so. We're not going to be here next week.
Oh yes, I am going on a baseball trip, so I will.
Yeah, he's on the Yankees.
Not be here, dude. Speaking of which, this is a good way to end the episode. Jack, how are you feeling? We were supposed to go to a Yankee game together.
That was not a great day for me.
And I don't want to blame it on your issue because that's not your fault. I don't blame you. I blame your
my body.
Your body.
I came down with something, let's just say.
And I ended up not getting the bobblehead because of it. It was a George Costanza bobblehead. For anyone out there,
how was that because of me?
Because I had to wait for a later train. Because then the person who took your ticket was coming with me, so I had to wait. If it was
going, they just get an earlier train?
But you told me at like 3:00 that you weren't coming, and
yeah,
I had
to
like
catch 2:30.
No, it was like almost 3, and I had to catch a 3:30 train. It wasn't going to happen in time. By the time they came down to me and we had to go to the train station, and so I ended up waiting for a later train. That train was delayed, the later one, and then I missed the bobblehead. And it was anyone who doesn't know out there, in Seinfeld, George Costanza works for the Yankees, and there's an episode where he builds a bed underneath George Steinbrenner's desk, the owner of the Yankees.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
To take a nap, and the bobblehead is George Costanza taking a nap under the desk, the boss's desk, and I missed it. And then they lost the game to the Red Sox, which made it even worse. So
my bad, bro.
Anyway, that's all I had to add to the end of the episode. Thanks for listening, everybody. We love and appreciate you as always, except Jack's body, who caused me to miss the bobblehead.
He loves my body.
Said Josh, don't.
All right.
Josh, don't.
See you guys
Later.